It's Friday. It's time for another truck news recap. Hey, it's Tim. Pickup Truck Plus SUV Talk. Every Friday, I try to do truck news recaps. It's news items I've read during the week or things that I've seen or comments that have been made on the channel that I want to kind of give you guys a little behind the scenes and talk more about these topics. They don't quite make it into like a 12, 15, 25-minute video to bore you with. No, getting right to the point on these. So I'm a little bit sorry for lateness on this. If you're a regular viewer of this channel, it's 7 o'clock on a Friday night. 6-hour delay flying home today from San Antonio. So sorry for being a little late, but I had a reason. I was flying and driving and sitting in airports all day. So let's get these news. Clearly, the big news this week was what happened yesterday. And I filmed this actually in the Expel companies. I was there in San Antonio with those guys, and I filmed it in their conference room. So sorry for any technical issues on this, but yeah, Toyota to replace 100,000 Lexus LX and Toyota Tundra engines. This is the fix that we've talked about that came from the recall that went through. One of the things I want to talk about in this video, and I've been thinking about all day as I've been driving, is what's this going to cost Toyota? So this is it going to help the brand's reputation as well? So there's a double-edged sword in my head. I got two thoughts. Let me walk through these with you guys because I've been reading comments the last couple of days and reading what you guys have been saying. I mean, Facebook friends have been arguing about stuff as well. That happens. And so if you didn't catch the news, let's go to the news real fast and just cover the news. So as you remember, 2022 to 2023 Toyota gasoline trucks, not hybrids. And I don't know if this applies to Canada either. I've been asked that question. I have no idea if it applies to Canada. It does not apply to hybrid. It does not apply to Sequoia. It's just 2022, 2023 Toyota Tundra and Lexus LX vehicles had engine debris in the engine, causing the bearing to spin and complete engine failure. Toyota did something the other day. They announced the fix for this. So the fix was going to be announced like in the fourth quarter. Now it was announced this month, and it's just a kind of chaos right now with understanding what Toyota is doing with this communication. But we got the details, which I'm happy for. A lot of people had a lot of concerns, a lot of fear selling the Tundras, trying to get rid of them as low dollar, taking wholesale numbers instead of real trade-in numbers. I did this video on that, and I'm trying to be very clear these days because people got really confused in that video as well. I wasn't saying all Tundra is going to be traded in, not at all. Just saying some of them were having some issues because of the recall. That's what the story was. And so the recall recap, we talked about this, turbocharged V6, engine debris. And so Toyota put a notice out there, and Auto News saw it first, and they did a story on it. I give them total credit. I happened to see the story on a lunch break at Expel, and that's why I did a video there, was that owners were notified of an engine replacement later on this month. And I just saw a Facebook thing at the airport today. A guy got a phone call. His dealership wants his truck July 29th and 30th. They can do the full engine replacement. Now, the recall itself, or the information people are getting on the app, says engine assembly. There's some conversation about whether that meant the full engine or not full engine, and what's that really mean. And so Toyota posted a press release confirming it'll be a full engine replacement. I want to make sure I get this press release, give you the exact details. For all involved vehicles, again, those vehicles impacted by the recall, Toyota and Lexus dealers will replace the engine with a new one at no cost to customers. Now, I had said in a video I did yesterday, kind of off the cuff, saying, hey, you know, this is going to be expensive because we know the retail price. Let me be very clear about this. We know the retail price that dealers are giving customers is $30,000 for an engine because they're not replacing just the short block, not replacing just the long block. Wait a minute. They're replacing everything because you don't know the contamination went. Turbos, fuel pumps, everything. You're replacing anything that has oil put into it, doing a full, I don't know if fuel pumps does. Stay with me on this one. We're replacing a full engine replacement because you're replacing all the pieces because you don't know where the engineering debris went, or the engine debris went to. I keep saying engineering debris, and well, frankly, it's an engineering issue maybe too. But engine debris, you don't know where it went to, so we're doing full engine replacements. That means cab comes off the frame. I know it freaks people out. I don't understand why. It's been a common thing for years. It's easy to work on. It's simpler for the mechanics. Comes up, it's all right there. There's your engine. I mean, my goodness, I've done engine swaps before in old trucks. What a great thing. I take the front clip off all the time. I want to get this stuff. So I want to remove stuff before I get to the engine. So it's a very common thing to do. So they're taking the cab off, swapping the engine out. Now, Toyota says in the notice that Auto News ran was it's going to be a 13 to 21 hour fix. There's no way in hell for that's going to fix. And that it's going to be, they're going to give loaners out to customers impacted. So I anticipate this taking a week, or a couple days at least, but especially the first new ones. The first ones technicians haven't done before. It's going to take a little longer to want to make sure everything right. As you get more experience, right, things get better. So I expect to take a little while longer. Now, there was a lot of conversation online about a $30,000 number and how wrong I was. It can't cost $30,000. That's ridiculous. Well, remember something here. Toyota replaced all the frames in the Tacoma. So they've spent billions before on recalls. So let's talk about this. I had a dealer on TikTok and I had a dealer in YouTube comments say their cost is probably about $17,000. That's kind of what their estimate is, right? I had another journalist said it was going to be $6,000. That's their Toyota's total cost. What an absurd number. Because here's the deal. We will never know. Let me repeat that. We will never know the true cost replacement. That is in a spreadsheet somewhere buried in corporate headquarters that is not public. So we can just take information the dealers are giving us, information that people are talking about from dealerships, and that's the numbers we have. And so if you're looking at something that says, let's say when I said it was 30,000, we did 100,000, so we had $3 billion. 17,000 times 100,000, because my math skills suck off the top of my head, is 1.7 billion. Okay, so let's say it's 800 million. Let's say it's 5 billion. It's doesn't matter, is my point of view on this. I've asked a few people, I'm like, why is this fighting words with people? People have gotten really upset with me because they're like, that can't be right. That's a BS number. You're lying. Why does it matter? It's not your money. It's not my money. Let it go. They're going to spend a lot of money on this. So even if you believe the engine's only $10,000, you're still $1 billion. You still are. And you don't add in the cost, transportation costs, right? Transport costs of this stuff, the time away technician could be working on other stuff in dealership level, the time the customer spent, their time is valuable too. My time's worth money. So we are talking billions. If that's what's going to end up being if you do a wholesome analysis of everything. Now, will Toyota survive this? Yeah, they'll survive this. They're a multi-billion-dollar company. So this is not a big deal. But yeah, so this is the price thing really got me confused. People are really defending Toyota on this. Toyota screwed up, guys. They made a massive mistake. I called this first thing when this story broke last month. This is a huge deal. It's going to cost them millions and now into billions to replace this. It's a big issue. They made a big mistake. They're paying for it. Okay, great. Here's the other thing that came up in the comments that I was not anticipating behind the scenes in this. More behind the scenes. Sorry, this may be a long video. Maybe sit back, pop top, relax. I was not anticipating people saying that this is restoring their faith in Toyota by Toyota standing behind the product. I didn't realize this, but apparently there's this thought process out there that since Toyota stood behind their product and replacing it and standing up for what they've, their vehicle, that's different than the big three who just let problems happen and wouldn't fix them. Hey, news to me. I had not known that before, and I'm not trying to make fun of those people at all. I'd not known that there was a factoid online, and so it's been really interesting for me to see the reaction to this video and how many people are saying, "Oh, I'm buying a Toyota from now on because they stand behind their products." So it's on the one hand, it's going to cost them billions to fix this engine issue. On the other hand, from my viewpoint, looking at the comments, they just gained a whole lot of new customers. So it's kind of interesting how it's going to cost them billions to replace these engines, and they're gaining customer loyalty at the same time for a known problem from the factory. So I don't know. 3-hour drive through the northern Colorado area in my head, spinning around, trying to wrap this around my head, going, wow. Isn't that crazy to me? Isn't that crazy to you? Crazy to me that restoring customers' faith in something, standing behind the product, how easy that is. Like, that's a simple thing to do. And yet other automakers apparently haven't done it in the past, according to these customers who are commenting on the comments saying, they're not standing behind the products. Okay, so we talked about losing billions. Let's talk about more people losing billions. Jeep Dodge maker Stellantis reports 48% drop in first half net profit. 48% drop in first half net profit on weak U.S. sales. Okay, so they net profit of 5.6 billion euros or 6.7 billion. That's down 48% year over year. It doesn't take a rocket science to figure out why, right? So you got rid of the Hellcats, got rid of the Hemis, you got rid of the stuff. You got rid of the enthusiasts. Dodge has been enthusiast. Jeep's been enthusiast. Jeeps aren't selling really well because in the CARB states, as I reported in other videos like last year, and those states that have adopted the California Air Resource Board, you can only buy the 4xe in dealership lots. You can't buy any other engine choices. Customers are flying to other states to buy Jeep Wranglers. It's really interesting what's going on there. What's even more interesting with the story was I dug a little bit deeper, is that Stellantis CEO Tavares is pointing his fingers at Ram 1500. He's saying that's the problem. Buddy, that's your bread and butter. But okay, that's the problem. He says U.S. plants building too many vehicles that need rework. He's saying that the shipments of the Ram 1500 and other vehicles have been slowed by problems that need to be repaired if they come with the assembly line. We've heard this, and UAW's been talking about this. Some of the UAW stuff is a little bit like, they really, they pointing fingers at things are really truthful. In this case, they were truthful. There's problems coming off the line. Now, they identified some problems like a shortage of the length of the wiring wasn't long enough or something. It doesn't always make sense in my head, but they're right about this. Trucks are coming off the line and they're having to fix them. And this Tavares backed this up. Tavares said that the issues have lowered the company's direct run rate at the Sterling Heights, Michigan, as that's the plan of the Ram 1500. He says the too many vehicles that need repairs before they can be shipped to dealerships. He's saying Sterling Heights has a big problem, and he wants the plant managers to fix the problem. He wants the UAW to get on board as well to not have issues. So it's a lot of finger pointing going on. I'm going to finger point my screen if you listen to the podcast and point my fingers because a lot of finger pointing going on. Tavares said the issues have lowered the company's direct run rate, which is the number of vehicles produced that get quality certified at the end of the line with no rework. Okay, so going back to rectify the issues of newly assembled vehicles as production costs, he says, the other impact is slows down your shipments to the market. For example, the tungsten trim of the high trim level Ram 1500 is delayed. The RHO is a little delayed. Things are not being built as fast as they should. And he says direct run rate at some of our plants, starting with the Sharp, which is the Sterling Heights, is not good. Something that needs to be fixed with our plant management team. So he's sending European plant managers to fix this. He called the results disappointing and humbling. And he also pointed out something really interesting that I'm kind of scratching my head now because I'm just like, what the hell is this guy talking about? He says U.S. Stellantis dealers have complained about rising inventory levels and have appealed to Tavares directly for help. So dealers have said, hey, Tavares, we have all these inventory levels, and Ram has some of the highest inventory levels in the industry. We need help. This was his response. Listen to this for a minute. Tavares said the company needs to do a better job presenting incentive offers. He believes consumers are being deterred by vehicle pricing and aren't aware of available discounts. So he's saying, yes, our prices are high, but our dealerships and consumers are not paying attention close enough to figure out they come with available discounts. Here's a newsflash for you, Tavares. Lower prices. If you lower prices without incentives, people come to dealership lots. So I'm sorry, but that's just I was boggling my mind on that one. Why Ram prices have increased a lot in the last couple of years. Why would you increase pricing so much and drive customers off? If you believe it's a problem, your company's had an issue with it, then just lower the pricing. Stop with incentives. Incentives were a big thing pre-COVID. Maybe we can get to a marketplace where you don't need incentives anymore. You can just drop pricing. Makes sense to me. And I think he's got enough money to withstand the storm because, Stellantis CEO Tavares' compensation jumps 56% to $40 million. Great. So a company that lost 48% of its first half net profit on weak U.S. sales, a CEO who blames the company blames dealers for not telling customers more about incentive pricing, and blames Ram 1500 and the team at the plants for not having a better run rate, also had a jump in compensation to $40 million. I'll let you guys comment below on that one. GM, speaking of other places that lost money, GM reports $4.4 billion in Q2 pre-tax profits. It increases expected earnings. Excuse me, they made money. I got one more for you. Ford lost money. Sorry, jumped the gun. GM made money last quarter. Now, why would GM? How GM make money, but Stellantis didn't make money? Oh yeah, that's right. CEO Mary Barra decided to not sell as many EVs. She actually reversed course a little bit. So we're not going to meet 1 million goal units of EVs per year. Instead, due to strong sales of gasoline-powered pickups and SUVs, especially the Chevy Silverado and GMC Sierra, are doing better. And so she delayed some of the EVs going to marketplace, slowed down some of the plants. Some of the Ultium battery plants they put on hold. They're not going to push them out as fast because the demand's not there. And then they said, hey, you know what? We'll keep pushing out more trucks. And look, profit went up. It also suspended production of the Cruise Origin, which is the self-driving bus-like vehicle. Ridiculous thing. For the year, GM expects to report a pre-tax income of $13 to $15 billion. So they've raised their guidance. They've said, hey, we're making more money because people want trucks and SUVs. Gasoline powered trucks and SUVs at that. New Tahoe's out. New Yukon's coming out. Sierra's out with Denali Ultimate. I met a guy in the airport Wednesday who's buying a Denali Ultimate 2500. Massive profit in that truck. Beautiful truck. If you can afford it, beautiful truck. Seats still suck. Beautiful truck. So they're talking about GM recorded a $600 million charge in stopping production of Origin. They've also decided to change their focus on EVs, and GM's making money. Now, Ford lost quite a bit of money. Ford shares tumbled 13% after massive earnings miss. So why did Ford's earnings miss? Well, they have done some problems with warranty costs. So the CFO said, not Jim Farley, the CFO, the financial officer, said that they're holding money back due to warranty claims. They can't make as much profit as they had put money in savings because there's so many, due to warranty costs, have plagued the automaker for several years now. Automaker increased its full-year target for free cash flow, but maintained its 2024 earnings guidance. So they're still keeping the targets, but they're spending a lot of money on warranty claims. Ford has been, for the last 3, 4, 5 years, the most recalled automaker in the United States. So it impacts profit, and they're seeing it right here. Now, they've also lost a boatload of money on EVs. Their Mach-E lineup of EVs, which is their Mach-E is the vehicle, but they call it the unit, the Ford Blue, I think is what they call the EV unit. I may be wrong on this. Sorry, long day of traveling. The EV unit's lost billions of dollars. The gasoline unit's still making a lot of money. But again, it comes down to those issues about warranty claims. Warranty claims are a big deal. And so a Ford CEO, Jim Farley, told investors Wednesday that Ford Plus restructuring plans remain on track, make the automaker more profitable, working on ways. Ford's traditional business operations known as Ford Blue, that's the commercial operation, traditional business operations Ford Blue. Ford Pro is commercial. Oh my gosh. And Model E is electric. Okay, here we go. Here's our marketing bingo for you guys. Ford Blue is traditional business. Earned $1.17 billion during the second quarter. Good business. Ford Pro Commercial, $2.56 billion. Right? Where do you think F-150s get sold to? Where do you think the F-Series gets sold to? Best-selling truck lineup in the country. No, it's the best-selling truck lineup for commercial businesses. $2.56 billion. Ford is a commercial truck business. That does better than consumer business. Its Model E electric unit lost $1.14 billion. So if you look at this business, you could say, all right, well, the traditional business of selling Mustangs and F-150s to consumers eked out a $0.03 billion increase when you factor in the Model E electric vehicle unit losing $1.14 billion. What made money? $256 billion for commercial. Why did Ford announce that they're going to build more commercial Super Duties in Canada? $2.56 billion. Hey, rocket science. Yeah, that makes sense. So there's a lot of going on. They're trying to make EVs profitable. It's not happening. Ford's in an interesting place. So let's talk more about what happened on the website or YouTube channel this week. Excuse me, as I wrap this up because I'm getting a little tired. Sorry, long day. We talked about the Consumer Reports. I did a 2024 least reliable full-size truck, which is fun to do. You guys tend to like the least reliable stuff. I don't know. I did a Wildcat Hills test. Maybe something I'm thinking about. I'm not going to borrow TFL's Ike Gauntlet because I don't want to copy them. But I was thinking about maybe I can do a towing test consistently. I don't know. Fence is up on that one. I'm not sure what to call it. Wildcat Hills is the hill in the area. Whatever. It was interesting how poorly that Ridgeline towed the 1,500 pounds and the RPMs were just really high. Just surprised me. I need to do like back tests to show you how poor that was. Yeah. We talked about the long-lasting mid-size truck, which Consumer Reports least reliable. I like going to Consumer Reports. They tend to get a lot of crap in the comments, but to me, it's not a data source. Whether you like it or hate it, it's just another data source to look at. The Dodge Hornet, we did an RT plug-in hybrid. We did Jill's Ford Explorer. We did my last time driving a Ford or Toyota 4Runner. I had to be a little careful on that video because I know how much love there is for 4Runner. I've moved on, but I have cousins and uncles and people that are not ready to move on. But I'm ready for the new 4Runner. That's me. And then we did breaking news. The new engine's coming for all of the 112,000 total Tundra and Lexus. And again, not to be the dead horse on that news with the Tundra and Lexus recall. and the fixes. But it was so interesting to see people like argue with me, like, well, you know, 102,000, but how many of those been crashed? How many of those have been totaled? You know, the number's actually lower. Why? Why would you even argue that point of view? Like, it's Toyota's going to fix the vehicles they have available. You're going to spend the billions or millions, whatever you believe, thousands. If you want to believe thousands, that's fine. And same thing with the product. Like, to me, it doesn't matter about the money they're spending and about how units to be fixing. For me, it matters about what to tell consumers who are looking for those trucks, as well as what's going to happen with the hybrids. What's going to happen in Canada? What's going to happen in Sequoia? Those are my questions. I want to know what's going to happen in future, because we're still seeing newer vehicles having engine issues with the Tundra and Lexus LX, Tundra specifically. And my question is, what's different in the block with the hybrid versus the gas engine? That's what I want to know. That, to me, that should be the focus. That should be the focus in that, not about what they're spending, what Toyota's going to send to fix it, because it's going to be whatever dollar amount they need to stand by the customer, because that's what their reputation is. And as you guys have pointed out, that recall is good for their business. Brand reputation has gone up. There you go. All right, for more chicken videos up over here, website down below as well, pickuptrucktalk.com. As always, thanks for watching. I will see you down the road.